Hello, everyone. This is Nael Shahbaz from InvoZone, and I welcome you to InvoNews podcast. And today, my guest is Borja Torres of Insomnia. We're going to have a discussion about his startup, his business ideas, future plans, and what he's thinking about the current situation in Europe. Let me just introduce him. Borja is an innovation project manager at Insomnia. His various functions that he's responsible for include development of acceleration program for startup that boost their businesses and establish strategic partnerships for corporations. Welcome, Borja. I hope I got the intro right.
You did, and thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah, I think it can be a really useful conversation between the two of us.
Yeah, and I understand that intro doesn't really capture everything that you do, but that's a start. So instead of me talking about Insomnia, could you enlighten our audiences what Insomnia is?
Yeah, sure. Insomnia is a global innovation hub. We advise and assist corporates in their digital transformation process throughout the innovative technology-based projects. We are experts in some verticals like fintech, insurtech, health, agri-tech, industry, smart ports, logistics, while providing them the best conditions to build ecosystems and foster the connection between corporates and startups. We always have these two visions put together, corporates and startups. Why our clients usually choose us? Our first principle is like no equity. We do not invest in startups, and that leads to our second principle, which is independence. Our models allow us to be transparent as long as we do not invest in any startups. We only attract the best talent and the best options for our clients. So on the startups perspective, we offer the entrepreneurs the best conditions to grow by connecting their technology with international corporates willing to incorporate the disruptive solutions. Now we have like clients such as the Spanish Port, IBM, CaixaBank, Santa Lucia, Michelin, the European Commission, Novartis, and all of them are with us in different innovation projects nowadays.
I think I'm not sure if you get asked this question, but when you are not investing in startup, how do you generate a revenue? Because when you invest, and then of course there's an expectation of return. So how does that work without investing? I understand that keeps the transparency and objectivity. Yeah. But what are the other aspects?
Yeah, our business model is our clients are corporates, not the startups, at least at the beginning of the process. We advise and assist them, the corporates, throughout the whole process, and they pay a fee for the job we do. That's the open innovation part involving the startups. We also offer them different other services because we have different companies in our group, industry reports, training sessions with experts, other innovation programs, public funding advisory. And we also are beginning to explore business models with the startups. We're calling it Startups for Business, but it is not fully defined, and we expect it to launch it during this year. But for nowadays, our business model is based on corporates. They hire us to help them through the process of innovation.
And how many startups are working with you?
We have a really big galaxy. We call it Galaxy, Insomnia Galaxy. We're trying to mix all these.
That's a good word.
We have more than 3,000 startups in our ecosystem from 55 different countries. That's a great value for companies because they not only want to attract local talent, they also want to invest in international options. In this context, we founded the Talent Route in 2017, which is the first European acceleration network with other innovation hubs from all Europe to different countries. And it's very useful to give startups from different ecosystems greater visibility and also capability to grow in different markets, offering them opportunities and building a strong innovation networks that maybe if they were not inside our ecosystem, they would have. We also have links in Latin America and the US, thanks to our other company groups. But for now, our main plan is Europe and Latin America.
All right, you mentioned visibility and you call yourself technology headhunters. Is that correct?
Yeah, We are technology headhunters. We are only looking for the best for our clients.
Mhm.
We do not invest in startups. That's why we can choose only the best in class. That's our main goal. Just choose the best option for our clients. We do a specific scouting, and we only look for the best possible fits. We try to search for the startup's background, previous experience, similar projects, and of course talent and expertise between the team members. We put this all together in a blender, and we try to get the best in class for our clients. That's why we call it like headhunters of talent and innovation.
And okay, besides visibility and this headhunting, in what other ways do you assist them?
Do you mean businesses or startups?
Startups.
In technological terms, we provide them with a specific mentoring with senior experts from every sector. One of our companies from our group, they are specialized in mentoring. But our core is accelerating services with them. They are focused on looking for business opportunities. I mean, their business opportunities frequently end up scaling up solutions to all the company's portfolio, which really boost the startups economy. We also help them with alternative options of fundraising, corporate partners, public funding, but mainly we look for business opportunities for these startups.
Okay, so now you talk to a lot of startups. You hear their pitches, you work with them, you coach them, mentor them. In which sector or industry do you think the most growth will come in, say, for the next 2-5 years in Europe? That I think that's your main market, or Latin America.
It's our main market. Yeah. First of all, our core value is the innovation calls and international scouting. We are working with the verticals I told you at the beginning: fintech, insurtech, health, agri-tech industry, smart parts and logistics. We are also exploring opportunities in sports tech and smart mobility sectors, but we are just beginning with
sports technology. I have some vague idea, but it would be nice to do.
Yeah, sports tech is not the same as esports. I think esports now are very worldwide known, but sports tech is technology mainly for sports clubs. In Spain, it's been a thing for football teams. They are trying to do partnerships with startups because they know they have a really big potential of revenue with all the fans and all the things around their stadiums, publicity, merchandising, and they want to explode all these things. It's called sports tech because it's from the sports area, but finally it's more financial than sports. But they call it sports tech because it's involving like sports teams.
Mm. Okay.
They are really new verticals. Fintech or insurtech, they are very mature sectors. But for example, also health, agri-tech, and smart ports, they have nowadays a tremendous potential. Mm. We are trying to build ecosystems around them and bring all the players together so we can develop a very interesting project, because we feel that they are the next very, very big things here in Europe, at least.
All of them, or a particular one?
I would say that the last few I mentioned, like health, agri-tech, and smart ports.
Actually, and I'm glad to see there were so many health tech startups when I visit those booths. That was very interesting. So I was witnessing a trend. So I had an idea, maybe it was due to COVID, but post-COVID, but probably no, I think it's going to stay. It's not just because of the aftermath of COVID. So probably governments are encouraging and investing and giving perks to startups who want to invest in health.
Yeah, maybe COVID was like a signing flag that you should start investing in these technologies, but I think it goes far beyond that. I think all these pharmacy companies, they have so much money, and maybe they notice with COVID that if they invest in technology and innovation, they can be at the front of the package. So I think that's why they are starting to invest a lot more. They did it before, but now with the startups, they can do it way cheaper and way faster. And I think for them it's great.
Mm.
They can put it on others' hand, all this innovation, and they are gonna have it cheaper and faster.
Agreed.
It's a win-win situation, I think, for them.
True. Okay, so when startups come to you for coaching, mentoring, or getting your services, how do you select them or qualify them?
We are trying, as I told you, we're trying to look for the best in class. But I mean, there are many other categories we are looking. We do a specific scouting because I think it's very important, the feeling between startups and corporates. Our experience says that many projects sometimes have very difficult times, so they have to be both really sure that they want to work together before starting a wrong relationship. That's why we also are looking for background, previous experience in similar projects. We try to get in touch with all the clients that have been working with these startups. We also look for the internal talent that they have, if they have a rotation in their workforce, expertise between team members, who's gonna lead the team. We try to look like in every single aspect to do the perfect match. Because when we start a project and things go wrong, sometimes it's difficult to change it. So we try to anticipate all these problems and do the best match before starting the project.
Has it ever happened that someone came to you with a fantastic idea and you really liked it, but you thought, well, that's not going to work, not practical, corporates won't be investing in it for whatever reason? Has that happened, and what was the idea?
Sometimes happens, and on Wednesday I was on an event that a startup told the people who were there the same thing, that sometimes they go to a business, they go to an accelerator, and they are telling their ideas, and sometimes they don't hear what they want. But what they told us, it was very interesting. They say people not always say yes at the beginning. I mean, that's obvious, and they can tell you the reasons why. So you have to learn from that, and you have to try to check all the reasons they gave you, and be critical with you. If the reasons are really reasonable, maybe you have to double check what you've been doing. But also you have to be confident in yourself, and if you don't think all those reasons are enough, you have to follow your they told us, follow your dreams. I mean, you have to follow your instinct, and if you think it's going to work and you have all the metrics that are backing you up, you have to go for it. Sometimes it's difficult because you need money, and if they don't invest in you, it's difficult. But as long as you can, you have to do whatever you need to go ahead with that.
What's your favorite startup that you've worked with so far? You can name them. Give a shout out.
I would mention dozens of them. In smart ports, for example, we work together with a startup called Nanocarbonites. They are specializing in nanomaterials and graphenic materials. It's amazing what they do, and their solutions have been working with big clients in all the Spain sports. In the Mobile World Congress, I met with a company called Nax. Well, they were finalists for the best startup in 2022. They are specialized in satellite imaging processing and artificial intelligence for agriculture. And they are super young, and they are doing a tremendous job with the agriculture, and they are working mainly for Latin America.
Number one, where did they?
Sorry?
You said at the top, number one, the startup. Where exactly? Which competition?
In 4 years from now, there was a competition for the best startup in 2022.
Oh, okay.
There were like 2 or 3 health startups, and this was Mac Solutions from Agritech. It was on Wednesday or Thursday
Uh,
when the final committee selected the top startup for the 4 years from now.
did you
Maybe they
did you get to meet the winners of the MWC startup competition 4 years from
I
now?
I wasn't able. I attend the final resolution, and it was a great event. But I tried to talk with them because they are from the health vertical that we are trying to focus. I mean, since day one, they had so many so many meetings already. It was really difficult. But we had their contact, and they are trying to get in touch with them.
Yeah, now they're celebrities, so they're not going to be easy.
They are.
Tell me about MWC. Do you think such events actually help instead of, yeah, we understand people get to meet. It's a good networking session, but do people get to, like, would you encourage businesses to go there in the hopes of making business relationships, connections, making money, selling services, products, or is it just network oriented and don't go there with the hopes of actually selling something?
I think it's really useful, but you have to be prepared. I mean, you have to prepare the event in advance. If you go there to see what happens and let's see who can talk with, it's going to be very difficult because people try to do their homework at home before they go there, and they have like everything already in mind. But I think these events, to be honest, are great. These past 2 years with the COVID and the pandemic time has been tough. And in my opinion, the industry relies a lot on these face-to-face meetings to help create like deeper bonds between people. For flexibility and mobility have been like a key factor nowadays, but I think eliminate these events could be a major blow for the industry. With all the people I've talked from different startups, companies, for them it's been a really useful week. They've been doing some networking. They've been talking with new clients. They've discovered new trends that maybe they were not focused on, and now they have new ideas for businesses. I think you have to be prepared and you have to prepare the event. But if you do, I think it's really useful.
Ever thought about starting your own startup? I mean, you help others, but what about, hey, I have a great idea for a product or service, or just some brilliant thing that you want to start on your own? Ever thought about it? I'm pretty sure you must have.
I've done it with some of my colleagues here in Insomnia, because now we are getting into many different projects, many different verticals, sectors, and we always talk about that, and hopefully one day we have the courage to do it. It would be great, and if you do it with friends, if those friends have like a really technical background to be with you, I think that's one of the best things to be part of.
Usually where your ideas lie, is it fintech or health tech, insure tech, or some other sports?
The ones I've been talking with my colleagues are mostly focused on agri-tech, because we are working now a lot with agri-tech startups and companies, and also for fintech. I mean, that's the easiest
What?
sector to be.
Easiest, okay.
The fintech sector is really matured. I think like almost everybody understands how it works, all these solutions that are nowadays.
And there was a time when you
yeah,
had to explain what fintech was, and it was all about disruption and all. So now it's mature, so it's now the norm now.
sorry.
It's the norm. Like a few years back, it was the disruption. You had to explain what fintech was, but not everyone
Yeah,
understands it.
yeah. Now mainly in our galaxy, more than 50% of our startups are specialized in fintech. Of course, technology it can be applied to every sector, but these startups, their main activity nowadays is with fintech corporates because yeah, they've been investing in startups and innovation for a long time.
What's the most practical advice you can give to budding entrepreneurs who are like, there's a trend, there's a bandwagon of entrepreneurship, launching their own products. What is the most practical advice you would give them? They don't know the other side of it. They're just on one side, having imagination and just ideas. And you're on the other side of making it see through the end, seeing the finished product or service or idea coming to fruition. So what would you tell them?
I think ideas are basic. Without that, you don't have anything. You don't have nothing, sorry. But yeah, then when you have to like hands in work, you have to be very honest with you. You have to have a really strong business plan. That's crucial. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we listen from entrepreneurs that they have a really great idea and they have like everything, but they don't have a really consistent business plan. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters here is to make money from your ideas. If you wanna start a company and you want people to invest in you, it has to come with a really strong business plan. That's one of the weaknesses that we usually see in some entrepreneurs.
If an entrepreneur asks you what should be the timeline of getting the returns of making money, so it's like, hey, invest or put efforts till 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, till when they should actually be practical expectation of earning back?
At the beginning, it's really difficult to earn back all the investment. At the beginning, with all the MVPs, all the proof of concepts, it's really difficult to earn back all the investment. That's why you have to look for venture capitals or people who invest in you. Because if you try to invest your own money, that's not gonna work in many cases. So in 6 months, 1 year, it's kind of difficult for us. We are very focused on a business plan for a 3-4 years margin. If in 3-4 years you are getting benefit, that's a great thing. If you do it in 6 months to 1 year, that's great. I mean, those are the called unicorns in Silicon Valley. But yeah, I mean, in a 3-4 year span, I think it's kind of realistic.
Which is the best country in Europe you would advise people to not flock to, but have a better or have an edge? So your listeners in Eastern European countries, would you tell them to have a base there or actually travel to other Western side of Europe?
I think in Spain, the startups and innovation are huge nowadays. We are launching so many hubs in cities like Valencia, for example. The way of life here is super nice. I mean, you've been here to Barcelona and life here is really good. Many technology companies are here in Spain. You have great opportunities. Also now with all the European funds that are coming after COVID, the EU funds, I think they are called. They are going to have great opportunities in the upcoming 2-3 years. In Spain, at least, the government is running now a plan for innovation for the next 2-3 years, because they've noticed if they don't innovate corporates, startups, everyone, we are gonna be on the back of the line. So with all these European funds, it's a good time to come here to Spain and base their companies here.
Regarding efforts and the investment that startups put in their products, how much does it actually go into the development side of it, and how much it goes into the sales and marketing side of it in general? So you've worked with dozens of startups now. So where do you see most of their investment, their time, their money and efforts going into? Is it development or sales?
At the beginning, I would say 90-95% on development. At the beginning, you need to show investors, people, and clients what you have. I mean, you can sell it really good, and you can be a marketing king, but if you don't really have nothing to show them, it's going to be very difficult. So I think at the beginning, at least you have to develop an MVP, at least to the beginning.
What kind of hurdles do they face in this phase, in the beginning, in the development phase? Is there any hurdle considering the European market?
Hurdles in the market, we are always talking about disruptive innovation, but it's really difficult to find really disruptive solutions that's never been developed or thought by anybody. So at the beginning, you are gonna have competitors. Market is really hard. So at the beginning, you have to be willing to be really fast, and also if you change and pivot your business plan, is not a drama. You have to be able to change your points, your foundations that you maybe think they are crucial, but technology nowadays, it's super fast. We've seen business plans for 2-3 years of developing a platform, but in 3 to 4 months, maybe your competitors do it. So you have to be ready for constant changes, and they don't have to discourage you from continue with your idea.
On average, whenever startups visualize their products, when it gets developed, do you see a lacking, or is it usually exactly how they have planned or envisioned it? Do they face any troubles in the actual product, and they go like, this is not exactly how they had imagined or envisioned? Does that happen or not?
Yeah, that happens a lot, because maybe you have an image of what you are going to offer to your clients, but when you really got to talk to them, when you really get into the market, you understand the real necessities they have, and you have to change that. That's why I told you have to be able to change really fast, because maybe you were going this way, you talk to many companies, senior mentors, and they told you you need to change this, or you need to add this to be able to feed the market. So you have to be very agile. Really open-minded, because probably none of the solutions that are now in the market, they were envisioned like they are now. I think that's really difficult. You have to have a really good idea, and this nowadays is kind of like a unicorn.
Okay, which event are you looking forward to attend next?
Next event we're attending, I think, is like South Summit. We are discussing if we are gonna be present or we are gonna attend virtually, but it's usually a really also good event for startups and innovation. It's gonna be held in Madrid, I think in June or July. So we'll try to be there. The last 2 years it's been like virtual events, but after going to the MWC physically, it's going to be tough to go back to the virtual events.
Do you think if you get the chance of speaking or presenting on stage about Insomnia, you're going to have better success? You can reach more audiences and people get to know, oh, actually, this is what they're doing, and this is going to help, I don't know, 200 startups present at the event. Do you think about that?
That would be great. I mean, all this communication and that we can have, I mean, it's going to be good for sure. In Spain, I think we are very well known, but in these events, normally they come companies, corporates, startups from all over the world. So it would be a really great opportunity to get known by them. I would love to do it, to be honest.
Perfect. Sounds good. I am actually done with all the questions that Fatima wrote for me. So we're almost done. And how is Valencia, by the way? You described it as a very serene, natural, quieter place compared to Barcelona.
I think Valencia for me is the best place to live in Spain. We have a really good weather. Not the last few weeks. I hope you don't visit Valencia in the next 2 or 3 days because the weather it's been awful lately. But Valencia for living, I think you have everything you can have in Madrid, in Barcelona. Of course, it's smaller, but that makes the city easier to live here. Prices are not as high as they are in other capitals from Europe, and technology companies are starting to be based here. So I think it's a great place to be. And if you or someone from the audience is trying to figure out where to go, I would tell them to give it a go and come to Valencia.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, Borja. That's it from my side. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Looking forward to have some more. We'd love to invite you on some other episode.
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me, also for meeting you and in Barcelona, and really looking forward to join you if you want to one more time.
Would love to. Likewise. All right. Take care. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Bye.
Bye.